What if the emotions you feel every single day aren't just reactions to the world around you, but the very forces shaping that world? What if anger doesn't just make you feel bad? It literally pulls a different kind of reality toward you. And what if joy, genuine, unconditional joy, acts like a gravitational field, attracting experiences, people, and circumstances that match its frequency? This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't Instagram spirituality. This is the life's work of Dr. David R. Hawkins, psychiatrist, physician, researcher, and spiritual teacher, who spent decades mapping the hidden architecture of human consciousness. And what he discovered changed everything about how we understand the relationship between our inner world and the life we experience on the outside. Today, we're going to walk through the map of consciousness, what it is, what it means, and why understanding it might be the most important thing you ever do. Dr. David R. Hawkins was not your average spiritual teacher. He held a doctorate in medicine, practiced psychiatry for decades, and treated thousands of patients. He was the founding director of the North Nassau Mental Health Center in New York, and his clinical work put him face to face with the full spectrum of human suffering: depression, addiction, psychosis, despair. But alongside his scientific career, Hawkins was on a deeply personal journey. He had experienced profound states of consciousness himself, including a complete spiritual transformation in his early adult life, and he became obsessed with one question: is there a way to measure the level of human consciousness objectively? That question led him to a research methodology called Applied Kinesiology, specifically a form of muscle testing. The basic premise is this: the human body responds differently to truth and falsehood, to higher and lower energy states. A muscle held strong will weaken in the presence of a negative stimulus and hold firm in the presence of a positive one. Hawkins and his colleagues conducted millions of these calibrations over a period of 20 years. The results were compiled into his landmark 1995 book, Power versus Force, which became an international bestseller and laid the foundation for what we now call the map of consciousness. So what exactly is the map of consciousness? At its core, it is a logarithmic scale of human emotional and spiritual states, numbered from 1 to 1,000. Each level on the map corresponds to a specific emotional frequency, a way of seeing the world, and a set of life experiences that tend to arise from that level. The scale is logarithmic, meaning the difference between level 200 and level 300 is not just 100 points. It is 10 times more powerful. The difference between 300 and 400 is 10 times that. This is crucial because it explains why small inner shifts can create enormous outer changes. Let's walk through the levels. Below 200, the levels of force. Everything below the level of 200 is what Hawkins calls the realm of force, energy states that actually weaken the human body and drain life from the world around us. Shame, level 20. This is the lowest of the low. Shame is characterized by humiliation, the desire to disappear, and the sense that I am fundamentally wrong. Not that I did something wrong, but that I am wrong. People living in chronic shame are at the highest risk for illness, self-destruction, and suicide. The world, at this level, appears miserable and hopeless. Guilt, level 30. Just above shame, guilt is still deeply destructive. It breeds self-punishment and victimhood. People stuck at guilt often unconsciously seek suffering as a form of penance. Grief, level 75. Here we find sadness, loss, and the sense that life is tragic. Depression lives in this range. It is a step up from shame and guilt, but it still drains energy from everything it touches. Fear, level 100. Fear dominates much of modern life. Anxiety, worry, paranoia, defensiveness, these all live at this level. The world looks dangerous from here, And ironically, because consciousness attracts matching experiences, people in chronic fear often find plenty to be afraid of. Desire, level 125. This one surprises people. Desire, wanting, craving, addiction, is still below the critical threshold of 200. Not because wanting things is wrong, but because desire in this sense is driven by lack. It's the frantic grasping that says, I will only be okay when I have X. It keeps people perpetually unfulfilled. Anger, level 150. Anger is more energized than grief or fear, and it can sometimes motivate action, but it's still below 200. At this level, the world looks threatening and infuriating. Relationships become battlegrounds. Pride, level 175. Pride is tricky because it feels good. But Hawkins is careful to distinguish pride from genuine self-worth. Pride at this level is the ego's defense mechanism. It is conditional, fragile, and collapses when challenged. Countries go to war from pride. Families break apart from pride. Level 200 is the line that changes everything. At courage, something fundamentally shifts. Below 200, energy is being consumed. Life is experienced as draining, difficult, a struggle against the world. At 200 and above, energy begins to be generated. This is the threshold of what Hawkins calls power, as opposed to force. Courage means facing life as it is. It means being willing to do what is hard, to feel what is real, and to take responsibility. It is not fearlessness. It includes fear, but moves forward anyway. This is why Hawkins noted that just lifting humanity's collective consciousness from below 200 to above 200 would radically transform civilizations. Neutrality, level 250. At neutrality, life becomes safe. There's a sense of ease, flexibility, and trust. The person at neutrality doesn't need to control outcomes. Things don't have to go their way for them to feel okay. Willingness, level 310. Willingness is where real growth begins to accelerate. People here are open, optimistic, and genuinely want to improve. They take feedback well, they commit to things, they're teachable. Acceptance, level 350. Here, the individual begins to recognize that they are the source of their experience, not the victim of it. Life is no longer happening to them. Acceptance is not passivity, it is the total ownership of one's reality. Reason, level 400. This is the level of science, logic, and intellectual mastery. Einstein calibrated here. Great thinkers and scientists often live in this range. It is a high and honorable level. And yet Hawkins notes that reason, by itself, cannot transcend itself. The mind cannot solve the mystery of consciousness using only the mind. Love, level 500. And here is where the world begins to transform completely. At love, we're not talking about romantic love or even emotional love as we commonly experience it. We're talking about an unconditional, pervasive quality, a way of being in the world. People at level 500 radiate something. You've met them. They walk into a room and the room changes. Their presence heals. Hawkins calculated that one person at level 500 counterbalances the negative energy of 750,000 people below level 200. One person. This is not metaphor. This is what the research indicated. Joy, level 540. Joy at this level is not happiness that depends on circumstances. It arises from within, spontaneously, independent of what is happening in the outside world. Near-death experiencers often report temporarily touching this level and returning forever changed. Peace, level 600, beyond description in ordinary language. Transcendence, bliss, the sense that everything is already perfect, already complete. Enlightenment, 700 to 1000, the highest range of human consciousness. Figures like the Buddha, Christ, Krishna are calibrated here by Hawkins' methodology. At 1000, the individual becomes a carrier of divine energy, their mere existence transforming the field of consciousness for all of humanity. Dr. David Hawkins gave humanity an extraordinary gift, a map. Not a destination, not a guarantee, but a map. A way of understanding where we are, what lies ahead, and why the journey inward is the most important journey we can take. Because if emotions really do create reality, and the evidence suggests they do, then the most revolutionary act available to any human being is this: raise your own level of consciousness, not to escape the world, but to bring more light into it. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it. And if you're ready to go deeper into the work of Dr. Hawkins, his book Power versus Force is the place to start. Until next time, keep looking inward.